Hi, friends. So, Matthews, North Carolina is one of the most beloved towns in the greater Charlotte region. But if that's the case, why are so many people leaving? Well, today you're in luck because we have a local Charlatan. She was born and raised right outside of Matthews, actually, and grew up in a lot of what Matthews is today. And I also relocated to this area when I was, well, 5, 6 years ago, I think now. So we know a lot about what it's like to relocate here. We know what it's like to live here your whole life. So we're going to talk about why so many people are leaving Matthews, North Carolina. Now, also be sure to stick around until the end because we're going to share with you some of the shocking crime data, which is a really big reason that a lot of people are getting out of this area, especially in the last 5-10 years. Now, my name is James Lanius. I am a real estate professional here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Upper South Carolina. I help folks buy, sell, and invest in this area. So if you need any real estate help of any kind, if you're looking to relocate here, if you're looking to sell a property in this area, be sure to find my contact info in the description below or my YouTube banner or right here on the screen as it pops up. And I get calls and texts all the time about real estate, so don't feel like you'll be the only one. Give me a call.
Also, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you would like to see more Carolina living content like this video.
Yes, do it.
Oh, and also be sure to check out our other recent video about why people are actually moving to Matthews at about the same rate that people are leaving. Okay, let's dive in.
Alrighty, let's do it. So, first reason of 7 we're going to go over that people are leaving Matthews, North Carolina is the rising cost of living. Now, if you're in Charlotte, this probably is not a surprise to you. Over the past, I'd say 4 or 5 years especially, the cost of living in Matthews and Charlotte overall has risen very significantly. I'd say 2 to 3 times what it was 10-15 years ago. Homes that used to be affordable are now out of reach for a lot of families and a lot of first-time home buyers, couples getting married. They just can't afford homes in this city now, what they would have been able to, I'd say 5 to 10 years ago. So property taxes have also gone up a ton with the increase of population and businesses and the economy and market here. The median home price has climbed by over 15% in the last 3 years, and it's climbed by even more in the past, I'd say 5 to 10. So let's look at that first. Let's look at the median sales price over the last 5 years. So in 2019, the median sales price was $288,000. So keep that number in your mind, 288. And just now, or right now, I should say, the median sales price is $572. So that is about double. So that is an increase of 50% in just 5 years. So you can see why it is definitely out of reach for most families to move to this awesome area that a lot of people love. So average list price has also gone up a ton since 2019 and went from $360,000 to $536,000. So definitely an increase. And these are all according to bestplaces.net. Check that out. Housing costs have risen a ton, as you can see, 25% higher than the national average of the home prices in Matthews, and 47% higher than the average in North Carolina, our home prices in Matthews. So definitely a lot higher. The overall cost of living is only 2.5% above the national average. So some things level out, but home prices and the cost of living in terms of real estate is just out of proportion. And it's 12.6% higher than the NC state average. So more expensive in Matthews than overall in the state and overall in the nation. So folks, to live comfortably in Matthews as a family, you need to make about $84,600 at least, and $55,600 as a single person. Now, that's for maybe not a home that you'd want. So if you want a nicer home, then you need to make more than that, obviously. But that gives you an idea of what I'd say the bare minimum is that you need to make to live comfortably in Matthews. And that's one of the reasons a lot of people are leaving, because the cost of living has risen drastically. So second reason to tie along with that is the competitive housing market. And that's a reason why a lot of people are leaving and why a lot of people that want to move here can't, because there's such a high demand for homes. And this has led to a lot of fierce competition. Sometimes there's bidding wars, homes on the market in Matthews that are priced well. They tend to be in high demand. They sell quickly. People love this area. So it's hard to get the home you want, even if you can't afford it. So that's one reason why a lot of towns like Monroe, North Carolina, or Rock Hill, South Carolina are more ideal for some people looking to buy here, just because there's less of a housing demand there, a little bit lower costs. So I would say that the home prices in Matthews just exceed the budget of a lot of young families and first-time home buyers. So that's why a lot of people are avoiding it and moving out. Here we go. Madeline's going to cover the next, or third reason I should say, that people are leaving Matthews, North Carolina and heading elsewhere.
So maybe this is the reason why there's so much traffic and congestion, is people are leaving. I'm just kidding. Everyone's on their way out, so there's a lot of people. Anyway, if you live in Charlotte or any of that area, the traffic's really bad. Really bad, like most of the time, but obviously during rush hour, which, obviously rush hour like after work, or the morning rush hour, which is normally around 7:30 to 9 a.m. and then later in the day from 3 to 6 p.m. So avoid those main roads like 485, Independence Boulevard, 77. Really bad. Sometimes even like local roads, like the back roads, like Matthews Mint Hill Road, can be pretty congested. I think
People
because
find their ways around.
Right. Well, a lot of those are like one-lane roads too, and if there's already so much traffic on other roads, people are going to try to cut, through the back roads. But then if everyone's trying to do that, then there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah,
so it's a disaster. Yeah, the roads are just not made for the amount of people that have moved here, and it's just a disaster. And that's
What was it like, because you moved here, or you've lived here your whole life? What was it like in, let's say, 2018 compared to now in, let's say, Matthews?
let's see, 2018
Or
2019.
before 2019?
So I got my license in 2017, I guess. Yeah, so I would have been driving then. I feel like, according to my memory, I would just get in the car, and I feel like I would drive like 15 minutes to places. 15 minutes to downtown, 15 minutes to like 15, 20, 25 minutes, maybe even just 20 minutes to Pineville from like off of Idlewild Road. Now it would be like 30, 35 minutes, even more. And the thing is, even if there's not traffic, there's always just so many people driving. So it's like not a very relaxing drive. I used to just love to coast, drive around, you just kind of zone out. Not that you want to zone out while you're driving.
Yeah.
I just kind of drive, and it would be,
Watch the road.
yeah, I would just drive, and it would be fun and a nice time. But now it's like everybody's tailing everybody.
All you northern
really.
drivers have moved down,
Don't bring that.
driving like wild taxi drivers.
Don't bring that with you. I don't want that. We don't want that. If you want to drive like that, just drive back on up. There you go.
Just do it. Just anywhere.
Just kidding.
Yeah, so that is the third reason why folks are leaving Matthews, North Carolina. Fourth reason is that the schools are actually super overcrowded right now. So many young families are moving here in recent years, so the schools are just, I'd say, feeling the pressure of it overall. Class sizes have increased, and there's growing concern about limited resources. Schools like Butler High, for example, are struggling to keep up with the influx of students, and I believe there's just over 5,600 kids in just the Matthews schools. This isn't all the Charlotte schools. This is just Matthews schools, and that has 5 schools in Matthews, and there's 5,600 kids, and the population of these 5 schools, fun fact, actually exceeds 2/3 of the cities and towns in North Carolina. So that's quite a bit of kids, and a lot of space issues. I think even 5-6 years back they had an issue with the school size. I think it was in one of the high schools. They had to actually reshuffle classes, and they had to move students and teachers around in the middle of the year just because so many people were moving here. And in 2019, everyone was moving here in 2020, so it makes sense. And just in the CMS, or Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system, over, I think, either 40% or just over 40% of schools in Charlotte are considered to be overcrowded. So it's becoming an issue that is increasingly more, I would say, bothersome to families, because you don't want your kids to feel like they're not getting the education or attention they deserve. So
If there's not room, then they can't go to the school. And if that's the school you wanted to go to, then that's kind of a breaker.
Yeah, and so we've noticed in the last 4 or 5 years that they're just starting to build a lot more schools to try and keep up, but there is a definite signs that they're reaching capacity in a lot of different ways. And it's the same with the roads. The roads are definitely exceeding capacity because they're built for less people. And so, in the last 4 or 5 years, Charlotte and Matthews have just been trying to keep up with the growth, and overcrowded schools are a part of that. So next one, Madeline is going to talk about 5th reason why people are leaving Matthews, North Carolina.
Yeah, so this one is kind of, the limited local job opportunities. Like downtown Charlotte, there's lots of job opportunities, like with, I guess, banks and tech and all of those things, but not really within like the small town of Matthews itself. It's a great place to live, but I think a lot of people have found that there's not as many places to work. They're finding they're having to commute to downtown Charlotte for work, which can be, like we talked about the traffic, it can be bothersome. So,
especially if you're in those peak rush hour times.
Yeah, so I think people, trying to find jobs closer to them where they live in, more of the downtown Matthews area, they're just not there. It's just not, there's not, it's not like a booming business downtown city. It's a small town, so.
A little, city with parks and coffee shops and schools. It's not really,
exactly
industrial hub or anything.
Pizza restaurants. I mean, if you want to have a career as a pizza waiter or waitress,
Pizza waiter.
but I don't think people
Free.
move here specifically for that. So yeah, and
long story short, you're gonna have to commute probably if you do live in Matthews, and
yeah,
sometimes isn't fun, but maybe you'll be able to work from home.
Exactly. The sixth reason why some people are leaving Matthews is the loss of the small town charm. So, like we're saying, Charlotte has grown, and so have all the, outlying little towns like Matthews. Matthews has grown a ton, and, a lot of the residents, I feel like myself included, I guess I can say I'm a resident,
Yeah.
have felt like it's kind of lost a small town charm. And if you go to downtown Matthews, if you live here, you know what I'm talking about. If you go to downtown Matthews, it used to just be like that one road with like the old shops, that small town look, the downtown area. But now it's like expanded, which is, fine, but don't expand it too much to where it's not even downtown Matthews anymore. It's just like this big area. They've expanded it like a little bit down the hill before you get to the downtown, and so there's more shops and more. And I think there's like a plan. Yeah, there's a 10-year project which was announced last year to basically grow Matthews. And I don't know who wants this. Frankly, did they ask anyone? They ask anyone who lives here if we want this? No, we do not. So basically, it's going to allow taller buildings within a block of downtown, and it includes plans for higher density housing around downtown Matthews. So
Apartments, townhomes.
Yeah, not a huge fan. So it's a bummer.
So that is another reason why people are leaving Matthews. Last one of the 7 I want to talk about that I mentioned at the beginning is the increase in crime. So this is a huge reason why a lot of people are moving, mainly because crime rates have increased drastically over the last 4 or 5 years, especially in particular close to that little downtown Matthews area. It's pretty high. Matthews overall is relatively a safe town. It's got a pretty good grade on crimegrade.com.org, I should say. But in that downtown area of Matthews, the crime rate is higher. I'd say break-ins have increased. There are some safer neighboring areas close to Matthews, but that downtown has seen an increase. For example, it's in an F grade on crimegrade.org right now, which is in red if you're on crimegrade.org, just in that city. And that's pretty normal for any type of metropolitan city or even small city for crime to be higher, but it is a little bit sad because it is that small, cute small town, historic city that has increasing crime just because Charlotte's growing so much. So that is, I think the F grade is just to the south of that downtown, and then the north of the town is a D grade on crimegrade.org. So definitely something to consider. You have a lot of great areas, like we said, around Matthews, but in that downtown, it is a little bit higher crime. Now, I would say when you go there, though, it doesn't really feel like a sketchy or unsafe area.
Oh, I've never felt unsafe.
Yeah, but that's just basically the crime grade, and any of these safety maps or websites are just looking at the crimes that are reported through the police department and ranking them and showing how much they are in a dense area. And anytime you're around a city, there's going to be more crime because there's more people. So for example, right near downtown Matthews, there's an underground gambling center busted back in September of last year. There was an unfortunate crime at a daycare even in the last year as well, that, one of the daycare workers was indecent to one of the kids. I don't think it wasn't like super bad, but it was inappropriate behavior. And so obviously be careful before you put your kids in a daycare. Make sure you meet the people and know them, I guess. There's also been a handful of shootings in the last several years. Those have increased, not as many as Charlotte, of course. It's still a lot smaller market, but there have been those. There's been a lot of property crime, and this is a huge change from 10, 20 years ago. It used to be just your small Podunk town that didn't really have any of this stuff. More so probably like downtown York, South Carolina now, if you know where that is. It's a town in South Carolina that's outside of Fort Mill and Rock Hill, and I'd say probably even 20, 25 years ago, Matthews was more like that because it was outside of Charlotte, but now it's kind of Charlotte in and of itself. So yeah, that's where we're at. Those are the 7 reasons why tons of people are leaving and moving out of Matthews. And like I said, be sure to stick around for another video we're going to post soon. We're going to record actually right after this one about why a ton of people are moving to Matthews. So definitely look at that. We'll talk about more of the positives and the things that people love about Matthews and what we love about Matthews. So if you were thinking about selling your home in Matthews, go ahead and give me a call, reach out. My phone number, Calendly link for a private Zoom session with me, and my email are in the description below, also on the screen right here and on my YouTube banner. If you need help, whether it's buying a home, selling a home, investing in a property here in Charlotte, which is one of the best investment markets in the United States right now, I promise, then go ahead and put my number in your phone and give me a call today.
And please, again, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you would like to see more Carolina living content like this one.
And once again, I get calls and texts every day from folks just like you looking to buy, sell, or invest. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in a day, or you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in 3 years, I don't care. Give me a call, shoot me a text. Happy to connect and help you on your real estate journey. Talk to you soon.